Okay, so Mr. Daniel Steinman, before we went on a break, you did mention that, there were reports, probably also that sometimes the media don't have all the information that they need, or shall I say a bit more educated on what we talk about weekly. So maybe I should be the one that starts reporting on what is happening in the economy.
So too, and I think you can get your colleagues to start listening to what you and I discuss.
Yeah, because these talks are very interesting and we learn every day, like base effect, something that we probably don't take note of when we hear it, in the news or when we go on economist.com.na, probably.
We try and avoid it
Okay.
because you alienate your audience.
Yeah.
You must remember, we make a very clear distinction between information that is good for university students and for professionals,
public.
and information that has a bearing on what you and I do in our normal lives.
Yeah.
And if you really want to swallow the handbook, go to UNAM. But if you want to talk about it, or if you want to understand what is the effect on your own private life,
Yes.
and especially your own private bank account, then you listen to us.
Yes, definitely. And that's what you need to do right here on your power station Energy 100. But we are talking about base effect. And like Mr. Daniel Steinman explained before, that you cannot just wake up or get up and start doing your calculations. You have to, of course, also compare it to the previous year, but also need to have a start point where you
very
do
important.
your calculations from.
You have to calculate from a fixed point.
Yeah.
And that point is the base. And if the base is low, then growth tends to be high. Percentage growth. Because growth is expressed in percentages. Because the base is small. Let's make it practical. Let's say the base is 100. Let's say the statistics agency are listening to us, and they're going to humor me, and they're going to rebase to 2020. Now we give that theoretical value of 100 index points to the economy in 2020. And in 2021, we've got about 1.5% growth. Now the value becomes 101.5. And in 2022, we have about 2.5% growth. Now the value becomes about 104, maybe 0.5, because now remember, it's percentage on percentage. It's slightly more than just 1.5 plus 2.5. Which is 4, but this is now again getting too technical. So it is 104 and a little bit. And now we get to 2023, and suddenly the growth rate is very close to 6%. And now the base goes up to, the index base goes up to 110. So if you want to have the same growth, it means that you now have to grow nominally at almost double the rate that you grew before in 2022.
Yeah.
And I can see I'm talking us into a corner here. Let's so from that base of 100. 1.5% is just 1.5 index points, and so it grows every year. But the point to remember is that as the economy grows, the base comes up. So eventually we are at 110 index points or 112 index points, and it means that to maintain the same growth, you have to grow more every year. This is the important thing.
Yeah.
And let's clarify this. So what we do, instead of using percentages, remember I'm talking about the second quarter of 2024.
Yeah.
The official growth rate was 3.5%, as released by the statistics agency, and the reaction was a bit overbearing, because suddenly you get this tsunami of information, uninformed information, of people speculating, no, the economy is slowing down, the economy is slowing down, because it went from 5.7, 6% in 2023 to 3.5% in 2024. Let me use the nominal figures.
Okay.
I honestly hope that this whole explanation makes sense, where we talk about the relative measurements and where we talk about actual measurements.
Okay.
So we've got percentages and we've got nominal. And as a percentage, we only grow 3.5% because the base has come up.
Yeah.
You need to grow more to maintain the same thing, which is not possible. So let's look at the nominal. The nominal is the actual value in dollar and cent. So we don't really have a figure to. It's very difficult to get to a nominal value of the economy. You get it in the budget, where we say that GDP is so much, and it's basically used by the statistics agency as well. But if you want to make a comparison, you need a proxy.
Okay.
And the proxy that I always use is the total deposits in the banking system, because it is denoted in dollar and cent, not in percentages. I mean, if there's $176 billion in the banking system, there's $176 billion. It is not 2% or 3% or 5%. It's a nominal value. That's why we call it like that. So if I went to and I use the total deposits as a proxy, because I assume that, let's say, 95% of all businesses and all people have a bank account somewhere. Their money and the company's money have to flow through the banking system at some point. So total deposits in the banking system, as published by the Bank of Namibia, is a good proxy for me to make comparisons on the nominal growth. In dollar and cent, how much has the economy actually grown? And let me just quickly read the figures, and then we come back to how do I make the calculation and why it's so important. So in the second quarter of this year, 2024, the one that we're talking about, the total deposits was 521 billion. This is now money in the banking system. And in the second quarter last year, the one that we compare it to, the total deposits was 480 billion. Now, you're going to say where I'm going. But can you see that the total deposit this year was actually substantially bigger? It was 41 billion more than what it was last year. So if you go to the nominal value of all the money that goes through the banks, you can see that we are definitely not shrinking or slowing down. It's actually going faster. But as a percentage, it looks smaller. Why? Because the base is higher.
Okay, let's quickly go for a short break. Again, let's quickly process that while we are gone for a short while.